Continuing with the Keset Sofer, we're up to Siman Gimel Halacha Zayin, and the halacha is Tzarach sheyichtov otan b'yamin. You need to write the Sefer Torah, the Tefillin Mezuzos, with your right hand, and if you write it with your left hand, it's psuin, it's disqualified. B'mein lo rak tefillin. Let's say you only have tefillin that were written with the left hand, and you can't find other tefillin which were written with the right hand. Then yaniach bo bracha. Then the Keset says you put the tefillin on without making a blessing. But let's say the person who is a Sofer is a lefty, then iter yad small didei have a yamin, meaning say if there's a person who's a lefty, then his left hand is considered the right hand, and so therefore he should be writing it with his left hand. And if he wrote it with his right hand, it will be disqualified. So a lefty has to write it with his left hand, and a righty has to write it with his right hand. Let's say he's ambidextrous, then he should write it with his right hand. And if he wrote it with his left hand when he's ambidextrous, then it'll be kosher. But let's say he writes with his right hand, and all the other work he does with his left hand, then he should write the tefillin with his left hand. Or let's say he writes, typically speaking, with his left hand, and all the other work he does with his right hand, then you shouldn't accept him to be a sofer. And b'di'evet, if he writes it, it's kosher. It's as though he's ambidextrous. There was a person who was an amputee, and he took the kulmus with his lips and wrote it. They disqualified it, and this person is disqualified even if you can't find any other sofer, because this is not the typical way of writing with one's mouth.